In this assignment, we are going to be introduced to a couple of tools that you can incorporate from outside Tableau, such as map APIs. So if you like some specific maps, Google Map, we're going to use what is called the map box today. Yes, you can do that inside Tableau. So the purpose of this assignment, not only to introduce you to some additional features that you can add inside Tableau, but also a couple of shards that we haven't been working on would be really useful to get some knowledge on how to incorporate them based on the problem on hand. Okay, if you pay attention to the tabs at the bottom, you can see that we have about 4 worksheets and a dashboard that you're going to design at the end. So the dashboard, will be your story, you will add the sheet that you designed in your assignment, and then you're gonna create some interactive relationship between them by using the filter. Um, and you have 2 questions also to answer in this assignment. So what I want from you at the end of this assignment, you're going to upload your Tableau file, of course, with X extension. And also you are going to answer those questions in a Word document and to upload it. Okay, so let us start. The sheet number 1, I have to pay attention. You have to pay attention here, and that under the data, you have 2 data sets. You have the customer data set, and you have also the Yelp data set. Okay, so pay attention to what each one of those data has as attributes inside them under the dimensions and under the measures. Okay, so from here, as noted, use the Yelp data. That means you make sure that you clicked on the Yelp data. And beside that, whatever you're gonna do in this section is something you have done before, so nothing new. Something to add, just that we're gonna use the analytics section. You saw some of those Tableau tutorials mentioning the analytics. So let me start just so you don't get lost at the beginning. So first of all, we're gonna start by, so as you know, Yelp is collecting stars related to reviewed customer of restaurants, bars, etc. So that's a way of giving some ranking to some specific locations, and people really rely on those rating to go to those restaurants or not before, especially if they never been to those restaurants or bars. Okay, so from here we're gonna first, here is the star. All we have to do, we're gonna drag it to the row, and instead of using the sum, we are going to use the average, because as a stars, you don't want to sum up all the stars we have for the restaurants. We are taking the average of each restaurant. Okay, beside that, we're gonna drag the number of records, which means how many people per restaurant really rated that restaurant. Okay, drag out the record to the column, and also we're gonna bring the business name, and this is where we're gonna see the scatter plot to the we're gonna add it, just a second, we're gonna add it to the details on the mark. Okay, if I can drag it or not. Okay, to the detail, perfect. And of course you might see those a little bit different in your end. You can always make changes to which mark as automatically you would like to display. Okay, and the size that really matters. So if you see them in this way, the only reason is because I maximize the size. Okay, that makes more sense. Now, in this section, just because we haven't done that before, place the trade line. So how you can access the trade line, it's not under the data, it's under the analytics. And here what we're gonna do trade line on the scatter plot. So you can see here, you have the trade line. So all you have to do, and you have to pick one of them, maybe linear, maybe logarithmic. I can see it at more logarithmic. Okay, so let me do it in this way. So this is my trend line. It's asking you based on what you see in this line, do you think this is statistically significant? So if you remember from your stat in 200 level or BDN 310, the p-value here is 0.103. What do you think? Is it significant or not? So I want you to answer that your first question. Okay, so go back, Google a little bit to remember what and when p value is considered significant or not. Yeah, another thing we can do is we can take away. Whenever you put anything, you can always drag it and drop it away. So just something to note. Beside that, I'm gonna leave the rest for you. For example, what we're gonna do here, drag the trend line off and then the average line. So where is the average line here? So you have average line. You might want for the axis or the y. So I'm gonna leave those for you to discover how you can do them. Okay, so you're gonna do 2 and maybe you remove some. You have other questions here, then you're gonna find out which the best places to eat in Vegas. So this is data, Yelp data in Vegas. And another question, how do you choose between highest rating and number of reviews? So here you have, consider um, the total number and the average, all will be considered when you make your answer. So rename the worksheet. So this worksheet is going to be renamed reviews versus rating. And you're going to continue in this way. Sheet number 2, you're going to see something similar to this. Here is the guideline and you have the question number 4. So here we finished, number here. 2, we have question 1, 2, 3. This is the one that you're going to put them on your Word document and answer them and submit them. Okay, and this is the question number 4, and you're gonna rename the sheet number 2 at the end of creating this analysis, customer growth. What's going on with our customer growth? Let me drag this one away. So first, you're gonna see it in this way. As you can see, there are some specific patterns happening here, and I'm gonna ask you specifically in July 30th, what was the highest, considered number of loyalty members in that specific day, or in comparison to other restaurants. Then what you're gonna do, we're gonna learn how to bring maps like this over here. So let me first take it away. So just bear with me. I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna delete it. So all I did, I went to map, and if you create some type of background maps and you don't want them anymore, there is what is called the map services, in addition, like third party beside Tableau. I'm gonna delete this one so we can recreate it together. Okay, I'm gonna close. Okay, so now we're gonna move to this area over here. There is a website called mapbox.com. Okay, and this site, free site. So all you have to do is to go ahead and create an account. All these gonna ask you for your email. You put your information and then it will send you email. You have to confirm it, otherwise, and you have to confirm it right away. Don't wait for 2-3 hours. It has expiration date time. Okay, and after you do this, you will get what is called token. You will have token to be able to use the third-party tool in other applications like Tableau. In our case, we are going to do something additional. We are gonna use a style of map that already exists, and we're gonna utilize it without coding, without doing a lot of heavy lifting. So beside you created an account and you have a token now, I would like from you to go to what is called the dashboard here and start by designing a map. We're going to click on it, and of course you have to be logged in, otherwise you cannot see those. As you can see, I already created two, and I'm going to show you how you can do that in a second. Okay, so from here, all you have to do is new style. Click on new style. As you can see, now we have templates you can use. We want satellite street, and you can do something different. Let me show you. The one I picked is a satellite. So, and you can customize it, of course. So you pick one of those. It doesn't have to be the satellite, but just showing you. I'm gonna say yes, customize this satellite street. What it's gonna do is gonna open something called the studio map box. So you have now inside studio map, web-based. You don't download anything, but this is the map that's been created before and available for you. You don't have to make any changes, unless you want to change the color, to do some stuff, but you don't have to. All you have to do is to click on share, and from here to pay attention to two things that are really important. First of all, you have to make it public. Okay, you have to make this map public, because you're going to use URL inside Tableau, and you want this one to be public. You don't want to authenticate, you don't want to have extra work on it. So click on make public. Yes, make this map public. Okay, beside, then you're gonna click on the third party. Now when you click on the third party, you can see some softwares available for you. One of them is a Tableau, and there are a lot of different type of application uses this third party. So we are not going to use a Tableau. All it's going to do is going to regenerate the code that Tableau understands. And here is the URL for the integration. And you see here the copy. All you have to do is just to click the copy. We're done. That's it. So we have the code now, and I don't need that one anymore. So from here, you go back to Tableau, and this is in okay, so let us do the following. Even you don't have to have longitude or longitude in the time being. Just let us delete those, just temporary. Just I don't need any of these in the time being. Just following the instructions over here. Okay, so before starting, watch the video I'm talking now about, and then use customer data. Okay, where is the customer data? So if you don't see it, that because you're already in the analytics, that's the only reason. We are going to use the customer data, so pay attention to that. And we're going to double click the city, and that will populate the Tableau map. But I want to use this fancy type of API, JSON called coding. So now you can brag a little bit about it, that you don't have to link to API URL that's being created with JSON, and you have not written any single code. Okay, so let us go to the map, and then from the background maps, go to map services. Okay, and from here, all we are gonna say, we're gonna add a new map box maps. You're gonna give it a name, so you can name it satellite, you can name it with your last name. I prefer that you name it with your last name. So I know that you did it, not someone else. Okay. Now this URL we copied from here is gonna, I'm gonna paste it over here. It's gonna populate automatically. And of course, you need to be connected to the internet and to that API when you do that, because it's gonna authenticate. Okay, so with your username. So you don't have to write it. When you create this, you're already online. So will be, when it's gonna test it, it knows that you're online. Okay. As you can see, now we have this new map. Sometimes you make mistakes. You might edit this. Just maybe you want to change the name. You know, you might want to do some stuff like this. So just so you know, yes, it can be done. Okay. So from this chart here, I'm gonna ask you to continue. One thing to consider here, I think you are set with that, you have no problem. Yeah, it's cool to see how much accurate this map is. So let us search for Pullman on this map. See education on the, just to show you how detailed it's gonna go to the streets. Okay, and I'm telling you to search for a specific area just to see how much details it is. You know, it's amazing. The moment you don't want to look more, you just unpin, you click on the pin, and we'll go back in this area. Okay, what else? Beside that, and you can see there is something wrong here. I don't know why this dropped in this area. However, we're gonna dig in this in your work. These are the location. So you might consider deleting that error in the data. And we learned how to do some delete in the data, so you can consider that. So now we have those areas that related to some questions you're gonna ask, you're gonna answer. Okay, so beside that, we are done with that. And let me delete those from here. You are going to follow some instructions in LOD intro. After, pay attention that you want to double click the row left to the customer ID. Okay, so we're using the customer data. And okay, so let me drag the customer ID just to see what I'm talking about. And then pay attention to this arrow down, because you can make a lot of changes from that. Okay, beside that, I want you not to drag the date here, because it's going to give you the year and a lot of other stuff. I want you just to type it, you know, and enter. What's going to do is going to bring you the date as a complete, and it's not going to be like extracted type of with details. So I wanted it to be in this way. It's much convenient. Beside that, the calculated field, I'm showing you here the wrong analysis. Read it and try just to see why I'm saying that. This is a lot of students make these mistakes when I'm asking for the calculation. Remember, if you want to create a new calculated field, it's located in this location. Here is a dimension. You see this arrow? Create calculated field. And from here, you're going to follow the instructions I'm showing you here. So we're going to create a new calculated field. And what you're going to do first, you're going to start with fixed. So you go here, you have something what is, either you type like that, okay? You just start typing and it's going to give you information. Let's say customer, see, automatically you are typing, yes, this is what I want, customer ID. And then if I put the colon, customer ID, colon, I want the minimum. So we are looking at all the customers, and we're trying to see the first visits from those customers. So the minimum visited by that specific date. When you type date, automatically it's going to show it to you. And you have to remember now, we started with this curly parentheses, just you have to close it, otherwise it will not work. And you should see the calculation is valid, apply. I'm not gonna name it calculation, we have to name it customers first visit. Okay. Oh, okay. I had it because I created before. Okay, so let's say customer first visit new. It's showing you how to do it. Yeah, you cannot have the same variable twice in your data. So this is exactly identical I created before. That's why it didn't like it. So I'm gonna delete the new one, but it's exactly the same. You're not gonna have it in your data, so don't worry about it. Beside that, after you do that, what I want you to do also, something you didn't do before, which is to create a boolean variable like true false. Okay, so let me go with you here. So this was the step number 1 and 2. We renamed it 3. Now double click on the row and type. Okay, here it is. I'm gonna double click here and just showing you a different way of bringing stuff. Is not really big deal. You can drag it. So customer. So here it is. Enter. It's gonna bring it here. So you have the customer with customer. Okay, customer's first visit is added now. Okay, so now we know when was the first visit of that specific customer. Beside that, what we're gonna do, and this is the date to the mark. So I'm gonna drag the date. Also, this is a new. Drag it to the date to here, and then what you're gonna do. Okay, as you can see now, you can go inside this pill and say equal. Okay, customer visit. Just start writing customer first visit. So which means all you are doing here, you want to have as a marker when the date of the first visit of that customer. Okay, that's it. It's gonna be here. And okay, equal, double check this, making sure I create it correctly. Yeah, I'm gonna write it, instead of dragging, I'm gonna write date equal, which is I think will make more date equal to customer first visit. Okay, yeah, see, now it's correct. So for some reason it didn't do it correctly at the beginning. Okay, yeah, so that's now correct. And what else? We are gonna drag this as well. This is a new pill we created in the marks place. We are going to drag it to the color button. So we're gonna have, if look what happened. So the moment, if the date, that specific date in the data was the first time that customer visited, so the value is true, it's gonna get an orange color. And if it's false, it's gonna give a false color. So if you want to know that you are targeting those customers that they came and the first time they visited this restaurant only, okay, so they are like new customers, considers, and you're targeting the ranking of the reviews based on that new customers, then we're gonna change the graph. This is all the purpose of this area. You're gonna go back to the following worksheet that you're gonna name it customer growth. And what you're gonna do now, see how it says here date of first visit to false. You're gonna drag it and put it as a filter, and you're gonna say show me only the true value, which means only those who showed in first time and rated the restaurant. Okay, as you can see, a totally different graph, and I'm not gonna hover on the most the highest number of loyalty members on July 30th because it changed, and I want you figure out what is the new value of that, because you're gonna answer it. You're gonna answer that question, and that will be your question number 5. Okay, so number 4 will be before adding this boolean variable or attribute, true false, and the question 5 will be after adding it. So before and after. Okay, and of course you're gonna get 2 different names. The dashboard now. Okay, so let me go back to the dashboard. Let me delete that one. Okay, so you're gonna create a dashboard. So you have a couple of dashboard over here. Just to show you a little hint how to deal with dashboards, you might add, see how it highlights the area. So I want it to be like this. Okay, and maybe the street over here. So let me, this is only for your guideline for you to know what's going on. So you're gonna create a dashboard and you're gonna drag those sheets in specific area. But also you are going to use this caret over here. And you can use the filter. So which one of those, so I want you to use for the scatter plot to be your filter. So if you use, this is the filter, which means every time I click something, as you can see, it's gonna be reacted in the other areas. Okay, so now we know that this is an interactive dashboard, and then you're gonna publish it to Tableau public, and also you're gonna upload it to Blackboard as an answer to your assignment. That's it. This is the video just to give you some hints on how to proceed, especially in those new concepts that we learned today. Good luck.